Hey there, Aquarius. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, click that subscribe button and ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, give us that big thumbs up, like, and share. Share with your peeps, share with your friends, share with your family, your whoever. Let's get this message out about Joy of the World because we want to glow up our planet, to make it a lovely place, a place where bold, bright, and beautiful is who we are and what we can be without shame, without fear, and without problems. That we can come on forward to live our best, beautiful life right now, here, today. Our dreams coming forward. And not just our dreams of all those around us as well. Okay, thank you for your donation that you sent into the channel. I appreciate it. We have many new decks that have shown up, and maybe they'll come into this reading. I don't know. You're just asking me, Angelarium Joy. And this week has a theme. It's about surrender to love. And leave it to you, Aquarius, to bring in the angels into your love and surrender. And I'm like, all right, so let's just start there. Hadn't touched a card, just freshen some decks in your life. We got some dark energy coming on in here. Dark isn't bad nor good. Dark is just dark. But that's where the star shines. Is it not, Aquarius? Okay. So let's get, thank you. I think you want a couple more. I see you right there. Going down the center. One more. Thank you. Okay. Interesting. We'll see how that comes out. So at the top, one of my favorites, Sandal Fun. Talk about a particle. Sandal Fun's fantastic. It's about divining the earth beneath our feet, the dream state, kind of the Alice in Wonderland, the Wizard of Oz, the Willy Wonka, that whole energy. And yeah, it's like glowing up here. It's like weaving the flower and bringing together the earthiness. Wanting to take that imagination, but for you, it's not showing up here in the inspiration, the high heart. It's showing up in the ground beneath your feet. So for some of you, you have a tethering between your Aquarius and your Capricorn. It's a synergistic effect that is going on that allows you to earth pump up the garnet, the magenta, the ruby, those tones in those colors, which have to do with earth resource. And you're like, yeah, we captains of the resourcing because we've been focused on work, focused on making our planet a better place. So apparently you have a mine down in there. Okay, so we're going to get a pip on that. These are the pip men. I love them. They showed up the other day. Look at that cosmic world, that cosmic planet. If that is not Aquarius, I don't know what is. So they're wanting to get one on that. I love it. Sandalphon is one, but two. It's kind of like a conjoined twin, okay? But really, the partner of Sandalphon is Metatron. Particle and wave, just like our mind, our brain, working together and becoming whole. Interesting. The Chamber of Love, no wonder you were wanting the dark. You're wanting the stars. You're wanting your star. I love it, Aquarius. You're ready for your star, your life partner. That is absolutely fantastic. But what I see here is the stars are ready as well. The stars have been shining and emanating for some time going, they finally got the message. The whole reason you came here was to find this divine love and this divine connection, because what happens when two stars get together? They make baby stars, and baby stars make more stars, and on and on and on. And that doesn't mean you have to procreate and have children, right? But it has to do with the dreams, the dreamer, and being able to resource up from the earth, bringing in this amazing energy that expands the creativity of our world. It's like you manifest the plasma state. You're able to, when you touch the earth, when you move out, step outside of your home each day, the energy that happens along with the earth makes it like this liquidous state, kind of like Mercury with your feet. Communicating through your walks. Some of you do some meditation walks here, okay? As you do, it moves your mind and it brings in this creative state, and not creative like artwork, but true creative embodiment. That embodiment that transforms our world, that brings forth this life force, this life power, and it makes all of life possible. It's like it overrules some sort of, I could call it a negative charge, but negatively charged particles are actually quite nice. They do good things for us. But anyways, it has this like a dissonant charge. It discharges that and it levels it up and it balances it out. It's like it balances the playing field for all of mankind. I remember they were telling me once that as our feet tread on the earth, when we become whole and we become healed, the Chiron becomes healed, that when we walk, it tunes the planet. And as the planet is tuned, then now those light bands of energy, you could think I'm talking woo-woo crazy stuff, but latitude and longitude is measurable. Okay, it's like these magnetic lines, just like our magnetic poles. Those energies rise up and the earth disperses them out across the planet and changes the surface charge of what's on people's feet, of being able to receive. Receive messages through our feet. Aren't you genius, Aquarius? And they're like, speaking of receiving messages, about time you receive the message that you're a life partner with somebody. And this isn't just a BFF friend. This is a lover. This is someone that you can have that divine sexual connection with, that mental connection, the soul connection. All of the eyes lining up. You want to find out about the eyes, tune into some Scorpio videos. They are bosses and rulers of the eyes. It's fantastic. But you come in here and they're like, you finally got the divine message. And they're like, swoon. And the thing is as you gather that energy and there are two of you, imagine what you do to the leveling up of our planet. You thought it was through here and through here and through here, which Mercury is very much of the mind. But you told us through Sandal Fun today, the Mercury's in your feet. It's through the divine connection with the earth, the moving out there, that you change the state of the planet and take the plasma of the star realm of the cosmos and you bring it down here on earth because you inhabit the earth. It is beneath your feet. And anything that is beneath your feet, you convert into that viscosity, that mind state, that fluidity that makes it easy to grasp and to understand in a state that is not like logical formative understanding, but it's more particle beingness understanding, which is why Sandalphon came in the particle. Okay. We'll see if Metatron pops up in here today. I love Metatron. But anyways, it's about taking in the phases of the moon and making the mind whole, allowing it to have no trickery, flickery, or playing of games, or phasing in or phasing out of going, okay, I think I can fall in love and open to love today, and then, no, I think I'm not going to, and then, yeah, no. That's why Sandalphon stepped in first, and you're saying, angels, Joy, angels. They're like, they changed the whole atmosphere and shook it up like that, and they're like, about time. About time you received all our messages. Look at all these glowing up over here. They've been singing the love song. Cupid's been shooting the arrows at you. And you're like, pew, pew. You've been dodging, thinking the world was going to come to an end. And they're like, yeah, the world we don't want. The world that's static and charged and painful and hard. We're like, we want our world to come on in. Please, you volunteered and you came and you bumped your head when you landed on the planet and you forgot. We've been singing the song to help awaken you and help you remember the love song, the song of life. So let your mate in, okay? Let's find out what's coming next. Next we have Chokmah, the right eye of wisdom. Ooh, talk about a counterpart. Talk about having all the bases covered. Talk about ease and relaxation, taking the world by storm. And this isn't like doom, 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 storm. This is more like do, 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 storm, do, 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 do. You know, putting a little jazz on life, a little movement, a little something going on up in there, and having the circumnavigation. One of the signs this week in their love talk was talking about becoming that pivot. When you're the orb and you have that in the center of your being, that you're able to pivot and move. It's about being adaptable, because they say survival of the fittest isn't for the smartest or the strong, but the most adaptable. And when we're adaptable, we're resilient. That resiliency is like the Mercury flowing through your feet into the earth and from the earth into you. It's that resourcing. It's like a divine pump of the cards of life. And with that, you're asking for another Pitman. And here's the other Pitman deck. You're like, pump it up, Joy, pump it up. And I'm like, woo, can I keep up with all y'all got me saying here? What is that? That's coming out over there. What happened? Okay, so we have something that needs to communicate and two that are already on the same page. Those are going to wait. Let's start here. Whew, dang. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. It's like, don't turn on yourself. Get in agreement with yourself. sometimes the elitist mind could play in, and I mean, it's been that way for like 100 years of thinking that we're evolving and ascending and so spiritual and divine and doing the work and leveling up and all that. But at the same time, you could literally have been going down or cycling or that type of energy and not even being aware of it, but playing yourself for the fool of keeping all these pockets, keeping things in compartments. But they're wanting to reiterate to not let that come back and bite you, be the dog that bit you. You know, stop curing your hangover, okay? Just don't get hungover. Be reasonable. Stay within a divine measure. Stay within the level of flow, of joy, of happiness, of pleasure, and be aware not to tip that scale. It's a lot of knots going on in there. But okay, so let me see what we have here. Tell me your secrets. But it's coming in this way. Begin to ask life. Remember these stars over here that if you hit your head when you fell and you couldn't even remember that you had this divine mate, and you've been doing the work the hard way out of the head instead of out of your feet, like they called you to, like you're divined, like the way you crafted yourself in your chart, your natal chart. Instead, tune the streams. Tune the streams. Okay, tell me your secrets. Okay, I'll tell you my secrets. And it's not really a secret, but we'll just say it anyway. We are the whole zodiac. That is your wheel of fortune. I have Saturn as my ruling planet. I have a Capricorn sun, but my Venus and my Jupiter are in Aquarius, and they're side by side. And I'm telling you, understanding how relationally we are to our chart and tuning those streams like strings of an instrument, allow it to turn into play and to be symphonic, to have a pattern, to have a story to tell, to have music that helps carry us along and move us along. And that we have the rest that we need to, the measure that we need to, the pleasure that we need to, that life has its divineness, this divinity that you need, instead of doing this other, kiltering and teetering and tottering and topsy-turvy and which one is it and the flickering of the mind. They're like, Turn your back on that, friend. Stay within the balance. Remember this circumnavigation, this pivot point, the ability to move and to redirect. Don't just fall over. Don't be so loyal to a thing or an idea that you turn on yourself, okay? That you become harm to yourself, because that is the key of the eye of God, the center of your chart, the center of your being, the wholeness of your music, is knowing how to navigate all the energies that it brings about, this divine sound, this pleasant, you're talking about the throat, this pleasant trust. This really not needing to know everything and control everything and be on top of everything and be the navigator of it all and the driver and the this and the that, the very dominating energy. But to sit back and to relax and allow, look at this, how at ease you are. So I'm hearing it say now, be this way in the relationship, okay? Sit back and relax. Sit back and receive. Sit back and be at ease. And this is where the partnering is coming in. Interesting. Because they're the same suit, the 8 and the 9 of diamonds. They're like, check your eyes. Don't go for no junk. Check your eyes. Check your eyes. Like an eye chart in a junk machine. They're like, receive the message that we've been sending. You're aware of who you are. And it's being able to sink down, to sit back, to relax, to get into the pleasantries of life, that you begin to recognize, what puts the rhythm in your feet, the rhythm in your step. No more of this type of boom, 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 type energy going on, but being able to get into the flow and the cycle of life. Being able to divine each day and enjoy the energy of each facet of the day, each hour, because not only do we have our birth chart and that wheel of fortune of how it goes, the transits of what's going on as well, because I can tell you when when Mars went retrograde, my phone was screwed for hours this morning. It was just stuck. And I was like, okay, go for a bike ride. Perfect timing. So it's being able to surrender and submit to that flow and to be, oh yeah, they're dancing now. Sandoval's dancing with himself. Getting in that divine flow like James Brown, wanting to kiss yourself, wanting to enjoy and divine with the pleasure of each moment. Okay. And that, okay, you're saying it brings in this. That helps you move into the 9, into the gaining of oneself, moving down into the earth to bring up that energy, the power of life that is joining along with you in this divine magic, in this divine dance. So you're not just partnering with a life mate, it's partnering with life itself. It's both. Don't know, no teeter-totter. I'm going to be very clear here, Aquarius. 'Tis both, okay? But with that knowledge and that understanding of the rhythm of life, the rhythm of the day, as you dance with life, you will have that freedom, remember, this ability to navigate a relationship and not feel like anything is taking over or edging out your life, your personal expression. Because that person that's been divine for you is a star too. They've had that same experience. Maybe in a different shade, a different color, a different frequency or vibration, but they have definitely had it and they could relate. Okay? So let's take a look. Ooh, talk about some excavations like Dig Dug. Don't you judge me. I'm old enough to know Dig Dug, and if you don't, look it up. It was a video game. And you go digging around, you unearth these little treasures, these fruits, these vegetables, these things that bring in the wealth. They bring in the prosperity. They bring in the resources and what you need. And you're able to navigate that earth energy going on there to be able to facilitate the life of your tree as well, which is one of the importances of what life has been talking about here. All these stars are singing. They're like, yes, you too. Your life as well. You are important to us, and your well-being is also. Okay, so I feel like these other two are possibly waiting for this bottom angel card because they shot out to the side. Okay, yeah, interesting. Okay, Shatiel, we have coming in the angel of silence, and it's coming in inverted because it was funny when it sat down, it was face down, and it spun itself until eventually it stopped. So this is an incoming energy, needing to be able to rest in the silence, but this is perfect peace. It's almost like the snow of winter, because the snow comes to bed down all those seeds, and these are hard seeds that need that saturation, that time to bring about the maturation, for them to be able to fully erupt and to come through that thinning of the shell, the thinning of the wall, the thinning of the self. Like for you to be able to dance and be divine, there's been some thinning of your wall, and this isn't waiting for the winter to come. That is what 2020 has been for you, Aquarius, is the winter, that blanket, that snow, that suppression, the oppression has been working through that hardened layer that has been around you for so long. Very much this, right? This energy, that it doesn't have to be that way, that the way you saw it is not the way it is and the way it shall be. Now it's time for you. You've been waking from your slumber, from your sleep, and time to exit the hibernation. Okay? So I'm going to split these cards because that's how they came. So let's take a look, and we're going to see where you are pointing here first. Okay, we have the Four of Hearts. There's a dog again. That's very interesting because in this card it fluctuates from a bear and a dog, a bear and a dog. But you're talking about both of them that bit you. One that scared you, one that bit you. But this is one of those relationships. You're just still kind of idealizing, aggrandizing somebody in your mind that you had a relationship once long ago, or someone that you had a secret relationship with in your heart while you were in that capsule, in that hard shell, thinking it'll never be for you. So maybe you had what did that friend call it? A movie star romance, something like that. Do you know what I mean? A fame crush, maybe even somebody else that you know is married. It's something like that that you have been like feeding in your heart for some time, but not to your health, okay? It's definitely not to your health because you're missing the joy that is right in front of you. You're not even seeing what is right here. You're not entering into the playfulness and the joyousness of each day because you're still chasing after this in your heart. Where you look all composed and together on the outside, your heart's been chasing. Okay? Been chasing. So we're going to get a rune on that. Let's get a rune. I see you. Defense. And that has you on the defense here, okay? It's very much the guard and the protection is, if you keep chasing after this, then you don't have to risk engaging in this. You don't have to risk possibly being, and it's like hurt, because that's interesting. You don't have to risk being hurt, having your heart hurt. You're like, I know, and you're putting the step off hand. I'm like, hey, we're here. You tuned in. You asked for this message. I am not the message. I am the microphone, and that is it. So I have strong placements. My two relationship plants are in Aquarius, so trust me, I'm listening too. And I will sit on the other side so that I can listen and hear and receive it just like you are in the pure form, not just when it's channeling through me, okay? So I'm here with you, Aquarius. Beneficial delay, stay neutral, trying time, decide, be clear, right action. And it's really hovering and circling around the stay neutral. So, like I used to tell my kids growing up, is when you can't decide or when you don't know, just stay neutral. When you can't get on board with something new that might be beneficial for you, because we had a lot of crap happen. So after a while, you kind of think it's just sky's going to keep falling. And I'm like, when you can't get on board with this new song, this fun, this playfulness, this, that energy going on right here, then just stay neutral. Okay? Allow the neutrality so then that way God, the divine, and your spirit can begin to work around you and bring in more evidence for your truth instead of just your reality continuing to play out as your truth. Okay? And so that's another one of the secrets that you guys want me to tell you over here. Just stay neutral. All right? Stay neutral. And give yourself, your heart, time to soften, from this snow, from this COVID snow, and to soften to the deliciousness of life, the resourcefulness of life, the giftedness of life, the measure of each day, the preciousness of your life, of your happiness. Okay? Oh, look, and on the other side, y'all, those cards have been well shuffled. It's interesting. They not only came out in pairs, but they came out together as the 8 and 9 of diamonds and the 3 and 4 of hearts. But these stayed face down and they kind of made their way away from each other because it's the unbelief that love could be for you, that this pleasure, this joy, this playfulness could be for you. Because in your case, what your heart really desires and is tuned for and inclined towards is like the childhood BFF. I'm talking like 4 or 5, 6 years of age, the next door neighbor kid that y'all just got along and you shared all your secrets and you comforted and encouraged each other through what growing up in life was about. That type of a connection that goes back to the heart of innocence. It goes back to before time. Okay? So I see you hanging on by a string, but what you don't realize, that's that fairy tale pulling you on up into the castle. This channel is about the I'm possible. It's possible. Our dreams are real. And if they're in your high heart or in your case, in your magical feet in the center of the earth that we've been mining out over here and we are bringing forward, it's possible. It's doable and it's real. Otherwise, I wouldn't spend my time doing this and investing in you and bringing forth these energies and this truth and being a microphone. Okay? I just move on with my life in a different facet. Right? But that is what this is about. I was called forward into this because we each have our role that we are dividing in here. And so part of me hearing the stars sing their song is to come and share this time with you. Okay? With us, as a matter of fact. So let's get a pearl on this for Aquarius about letting, actually, let's look at that fairy tale. Let's look at the fairy tale. Because I was like, what about that closing card? They're like, we'll get it. We'll get to it. So that's why you got 2. You got 3 and 15, the blossoming abundance and appreciation. Because the fairy tale comes in as the appreciation here, right? The enjoying your own garden. And as pleasant, as wonderful, and all the work that you've done, you're going to have that counterpart. Because that's what Sandalphon, remember, is a counterpart. Coming in, the 2 as 1. That's like a pair of shoes, right? A left shoe and a right shoe. So y'all are complementary and you work together and going in the same direction. Isn't that fantastic? Okay? So that's what you need to know here. Talk about that goldness light, that hint of innocence off in the corner of coming in about the enchanted forest is what they're talking about. Not the kind with witches and like greedy trees, but the magical kind where the birds all sing and the leaves rustle and that type of thing. This type of energy, the blossoming abundance, the magic. That's the creativity for you today. Here, Aquarius, is the magic. I hope we cooked up some magic for you and that your heart can be at ease, that you can join in this soul song, this star song of the ages, and remember why you chose to incarnate and why you're here. Hey, I love you. We'll talk soon. Bye.